Hi, I'm Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor, and in this short series of videos we're thinking about the main strategies that we can use in property. And one which, for the sake of transparency, I will be completely upfront about this. I don't do this, but I know many people who do, and who do it successfully, is serviced accommodation. So what is serviced accommodation? Well, essentially it's letting a property out on a short-term basis, often by the night, as opposed to a single let buy-to-let, for example, where you may have a 6-month or a 1-year tenancy. With serviced accommodation you have guests as opposed to tenants, and they're coming for short periods, usually. Now, the great thing about serviced accommodation is that quite often it's the same sort of property which you'd use as a single let buy-to-let. But the returns that you're going to get are going to be far higher. Why is that? Because the rents or the fees that you can charge for a single night or a shorter period of time is going to be proportionately much greater than the rent that you can charge for a normal 6-month or 1-year tenancy, which is the great attraction. Now, there's a bit more work to do with this. It's actually more of a business strategy than a property strategy in many ways, because you need to have a team who can support you, people who can come in and do the cleaning, people who can come in and change the linen, change the towels, and by the way, you'll be letting the properties fully furnished. It's almost like creating a little bed and breakfast but without producing the breakfast. Many different models that people use. You could have a single let house which you let as a whole, or you could have a single let house which you almost do as a mini HMO and you can let it room by room. But then of course you've got to think about things like security and how the shared facilities are allocated between the different rooms. But if you can do it, you're going to find that the returns on the money that you spend on the property are going to be so much greater. A few things that you need to think about. Well, you're going to need planning, because it's a different use class under the Planning Act, so it's not a normal residential property, so you need to get proper planning. Also, don't buy a property using a buy-to-let mortgage and then use it for serviced accommodation, because that's going to upset your buy-to-let lender. You need to have a proper commercial mortgage, and you'll need the right insurance as well. One other thing to think about is that some local authorities actually don't like the short-term lettings. They want more stable populations where people have got access to properties, to homes for a length of time, and they don't like it being short-term in nature. And so some councils have brought in the 90-day rule, where you can only use properties for short-term lettings for 90 days in a year. It's very much like holiday lets, and one of the benefits of doing a holiday let is that there are particular tax rules. There's good tax breaks with a holiday let, so it's worth checking out. So there we are, that's a strategy which you may consider. As I say, I don't do it, but I know lots of people who do, and they do it very well indeed. So until next time, here's to successful property investing.